Welcome to the Backyard Farm.
Hey guys, how's it going? This is Tate and
Kyle.
Out here in the Backyard Farm, and today we are going over the perfect timing to harvest your peppers. So we've got a beautiful Anaheim chili over here as an example, because this particular plant has all three different stages of pepper beautifully displayed.
Absolutely. We'll kind of go through quite a few stages. So first thing here is flowering. So the first thing the plant's going to do is it's going to create this nice beautiful little flower. That flower gets properly pollinated either by itself or by a bee. The next thing to happen is one of these tiny little peppers just starts to squeak through on the inside. That's the initial development phase. That lets you know that that little node has been taken care of. As it begins to push through, you'll start to see the beginnings of a little tiny pepper here. Pretty cute, right? Next stage is kind of right in the middle here. So this guy, it's kind of got this little bit of a dull sheen to it. It's not really shiny yet. It's still kind of dull. It looks really veiny, and it's really pretty stiff. Next along, right behind it here, these guys are just starting to develop a bit of that waxy sheen. You can kind of see it sort of shining off of itself, but they're still pretty veiny, so they're not quite there yet. But lastly here, we got this really big guy. So this guy has developed a complete waxed sheen on the outside. It's very, very shiny, all the way down to the tip, from the top of the plant to the bottom of the pepper. It's got a little bit of sound to it, so it means it's nice and rigid and hollow, which means it's a good time to harvest. So again, flowering, initial, just starting to show fruit, almost there, and then we're ready to harvest. So kind of every stage of a pepper and when to pick it.
If they start turning red or brown or any of these colors, you're definitely getting into the super later stages of maturity. A lot of peppers won't turn those colors, but you'd be surprised, even things like Anaheim chilies, if they're left for, I'm talking 3-4 weeks too long, even they will turn red. There are certain dishes that call for super mature fruits, and some people like those more mature flavors. Maybe you don't want a super thick pepper because you're doing a light salad in the morning, so you can pick a medium maturity pepper. Other times you want to be able to go after the barbecue or feeding a larger amount of people, and that's when these big, giant, more mature peppers really come into play.
And with peppers especially, sugars are the things that are prevalent more later on in their life cycle. So generally, if you're gonna harvest a pepper a little earlier, expect a little bit more of a bitter flavor, a little bit sharper of a bite, not quite as much heat if it's a hotter pepper. Like in other plants, later in their life cycle, they produce more sugars, and they produce that capsaicin oil or that heat oil later on in their life cycle. So again, younger flavors, think a little bit more on the bitter side, not off-puttingly bitter, but a little more on the bitter side, and then later think a little bit more sweeter or a little smoky or a little bit more of those more developed flavors that you're kind of looking for.
Yep, definitely. We want to know what type of peppers you guys are growing, when you like harvesting them, and what some of your favorite pepper-based meals are. Leave it in the comments down below. Thank you very much for following us on this backyard farming adventure. Have a great day.